Good morning, good morning. Happy day to you all, and welcome to Stamp Down to the New Year. It's me, KP, and I'm here in my studio, The Moon and the Maker, and I am going to stamp down today with one of Gus Fink, actually two of Gus Fink's images. Um, so we carry a small um, line of stamps from Gus Fink and Emmy Boz. They are the cutest couple. When I say young, I mean they're in their 30s and they're so hip, and their art is just really fresh and different and kind of edgy. Some of Gus's for me is a little dark. So, when I chose his images, I mean, he is a fantastic and prolific artist, very inventive and ingenious. I mean, does a lot of like things for, oh gosh, what is the name of that company? Not like Spencer's Gifts and things like that. I think I'm saying it wrong though. I can't remember. Anyway, it's a little, I think, geared towards a little bit younger of a crowd, but I really love his images. They're just funny and um, sort of whimsical, and a little cheeky. And I haven't done anything with his images yet. I know they're not necessarily for everyone, but I find them to be really charming. And so I thought this was a really great sense of humor, kind of dry and definitely dark. And if you look at his Instagram, some is what I consider to be a little on the more, um, you know, I guess, what am I trying to, like darker and definitely sort of scary. I don't know what else to say, but I mean, not, it's not bad. I don't mean it derogatory at all, but if you do look at it, some of it is very disturbing. Okay. But yeah, a little on the weird side, but really good. Like he's a very good artist and he's a really neat guy, and his wife is super fun. I think they're such a adorable couple. But anyway, so his stamps, again, we don't have a huge offering. I really love Emmys too, but I wanted to keep them in the line. We honestly thought a lot about whether we should discontinue the line, but I really just did not want to because, again, I guess it's a little bit selfish, but I feel that they do fit in with the RubberMoon line, and I like having something that is a little geared more that way, I guess. So anyway, yes, Alba is saying a little bit goth, a little bit, but still with a great sense of humor. Anyway, I thought this was really fun for New Year's, kind of, or I don't know, just for like after the holidays, trying to get into the good times. And this is just a fun little quick thing. So I had a couple sheets of this watercolor paper, and really it was kind of scrap, not really scrap, but it was just sitting on my table. And I guess the reason I would say scrap is because it did have a little bit of dirt on it. Or maybe not dirt, but a little bit of some markings on there. And I had two pieces, so I just stamped on one side, and I'm just going to fold over after stamping and coloring and just have the cutest little enclosure card real quick. Okay, so our coloring for today, this one's a little bit bigger because I had the two pieces on my table, and I stamped the little Good Times guy, and I used my black India ink. Okay, and then on my desk here I have a little mixture of Inktense pencils and Prismacolor watercolor pencils. Okay, so the Inktense, the difference between the two, um, they're both water soluble pencils, but Inktense, these here, are permanent when dry. So they dry to like an ink. So you can wet them and move the color like you would with a water soluble pencil. But then once it's dry, it will not reactivate. Okay, so that's kind of what's fun about these. Now, the other thing that's cool, if you haven't worked with watercolor pencils a lot, is that you can get the nice look of pencil. Okay, and you have the same kind of control that you do when you work with colored pencils, so you can get into your nice tiny tight spaces, your detail spots. But you can also do burnishing, and you can do layering of color, and like I said, just a little bit more control than you have like with regular watercolor. And then of course with regular pencil, colored pencil, you can do the same look, but you don't have the same ability to give it a nice wash when you're done. So right now I just put on a little layer of this True Blue, this Prismacolor True Blue, and then I was going over it a little bit with the Copenhagen Blue. Again, just for some deeper values and some nice shading. And again, when you're working with the watercolor pencils, it's kind of nice because you can, you know, get that same sort of, I guess just the pencil look. If you wanted to leave it just like that, that's great. Again, you can do all your little detail work. And of course, you can color as heavy-handed or as light-handed as you find necessary. Like I'm going to do a little bit of shading in the eye, if I can find the blue that I want. And I'm going to use a little bit of blue, but I'm going to do it very, very light-handed. Because again, I really don't want hardly any color in there. I just want the slightest bit of shading. And now I'm going to go ahead and give them a little cheek color, because you know I like rosy cheeks on my characters, on my people, and on my moons. And again, the really great thing is too, you know, definitely if I wanted to paint in this, I would just take a small detail brush, but really coloring in with the fine tip of a pencil makes for pretty quick and easy work. And of course, I don't even have to color in super nicely. If I just want to do sort of like a wash, then I can color in kind of not sloppily, but you know, I don't have to color in every white, you know, every white spot. I can just lay a little bit of color down, and if I'm going to go in there with a wet brush, it's going to move all that, right? And of course, though, if I did want to go in and say add a little bit of deeper color to part of the letters, I can do that at this point. So is everyone still sort of taking a break from Christmas, or are you still celebrating, or are we moving on and ready for New Year's? All right, so I have a wet brush. I just wet it with a little bit of clear water. And now I can go in. Of course, I could leave it just like this if I wanted to. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead. I want to stamp this little woohoo stamp all over the background. And here I do have my regular felt 2x2 inch pad, and I have put a little bit of, I don't really remember what color is on here right now. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of quinacridone magenta just on here. This is colored with watercolor, okay? This ink pad has been saturated with tube watercolor. I'm going to spray it with a little bit of water. And I'm going to use this as my stamp pad. Now, and I don't care at all if my image is stamped really dark. In fact, I don't necessarily want it very dark. I sort of want it randomly light and dark, sort of all over the place. All right, I kind of like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and go in with my wet brush and just sort of smush a little bit. Now you can see where I gave that just that little bit of shading in the eye, sort of make that pop out a little bit. Same with his little rosy cheek, and just sort of all throughout him. And I'll use just a little bit of the color that came out on the tip of my brush and to sort of push up through his face a little bit and give him a little more shading. If it starts to activate a little more than what I want, then of course I can take my paper towel just the same as I would if I was doing a regular watercolor. Do a little blotting. The same thing up in the letters. All right, and then I'm going to take just a little bit of pencil here. I'm going to scribble some down on my newsprint here, and I'm going to just use that to dip into a little bit and give him a little shadow, a little drop shadow. And then I'm going to, this pink where I stamped all the woohoos should move just a little bit because, again, it is watercolor, and that's okay. It will, as long as I lightly wet it, it's not going to completely obliterate the lettering, but it will just give me a nice little wash in the background, and I'll still be able to see all my little words. And then once this is dry, I'm going to hit it with the blow dryer just really quick. Oops. Oh, no, I'm not. It's not turned on. There we go. And then, of course, you know, I could just fold this over. Again, assuming that it's good and dry, which it's not all the way, but that's okay. Could quickly have just the quickest little card. Of course, I'd want to let that dry so it's nice and flush. Or, of course, I could cut this off and mount it, you know. But if you're in a hurry or you just want to make somebody a little note card, that's a great way to do it. Anyway, I love it. I love Gus Fink's images. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. I cannot wait until tomorrow morning for our next stamp down and to begin bringing to you on, let's see, what is today? Today is, I don't even know the date. Like the holidays always do this to me. Today's the 27th. So over the next few days, I will be sharing with you and talking about our new joint venture between Let's Get Makey Premium and the RubberMoon Mail Club. All these wonderful changes are coming, and I'm so excited to share it all with you. That's what I'm going to be working on as soon as I get off here today. And so I hope you'll be watching for all that information. Yes, Jan, Patreon, it's coming. I'm almost done. I'm going to launch it for the groups I was planning on launching it for the groups on New Year's Eve day, and then for the rest of the world on New Year's Eve day. I'm sorry, New Year's Day. So I'll keep you posted, okay? I'm really anxious. It's almost ready, so it might be a little even sooner than that. I don't know. Anyway, thank you all for being here again for our stamp down. If there's any, for those of you who are in Let's Get Makey Premium, I'll see you later on today. So we have a fun Makey coming up and lots to share and tell. So thanks again, everyone. Mwah. Love you to the moon and back, and I'll see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Go get Makey. Oh, yes. Happy weekend. It's Friday, right? Woo! Gosh, where does time go? Have a good one, guys.